Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. So this episode, I'm gonna be honest, I felt like it took a couple of giant steps backwards. Um, and let's start off with Brooke and Ridge for a minute because I'm gonna be honest. Um, I this is so stupid. Okay, I'm trying to find a better way to sit there and say it, but let's just be honest. This scene was so dumb. Okay. I get it. It's a soap opera. They gotta sit there and drag certain things out. They gotta kind of stretch things out and everything like that. But Ridge, I'm gonna be honest. He says, this is after Brooke pours out her heart, and she's like, listen, I want you back. I should have never let you leave. One second. Yeah, she's pouring out her heart. I want you back. This, that, and the third. Why don't you come? You need to come back home. You need to be with your wife. And Ridge, the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, well, not the first thing that comes out of his mouth, but he's like, I just came here to sit there and check to make sure that you weren't drinking. Okay. Um, you just gonna ignore everything that she said? That was your big takeaway from all that? Like, are you serious? This scene is a perfect example of mixed messages. Okay. And just not handling your ish. Because all you had to sit there and say is, he says little subtle things where she talks about vows and, sticking together, this, that, and the third. And, Rich is like, well, there were other vows that were made that day. There was other vows that were set that day. And I'm like, bro, why don't you just get to the part where you tell her that you're not interested in a life with her anymore and you want to be with Taylor? Because this whole entire scene would have been so much more shorter if he would have just said, I don't want to be back with you. He says everything else except for what he should be saying. And you're sitting there, you're watching, you're just like, I know that this is fantasy, and that we gotta sit there and throw out a lot of stuff like logic and common sense and, just regular mundane things like that. But, bro, this scene would have been so much more faster if you would have sat there and just said you didn't want to be with her. Instead, this jackass says that he loves her and he always will love her, always will love her, and he hugs her. And I'm like, what? What, bro? What are you doing? On what planet does? Oh, okay, all right, yep, yep, okay. I just forgot that. Yeah, yeah. That was just pretty stupid. Um, and I'm gonna be honest. At this point, the episode just really goes downhill, really downhill. Steffi talks about Thomas and he's worried being mixed up with Sheila and he's been acting all weird and strange and skittish and everything. And Finn is like, hey, maybe he was there to protect, the family from Sheila. He's like, maybe, because I'm sitting there thinking, all right, he's going to sit there and try to find a way to protect his mom. Um, and, he also said after that, okay, let me try to explain this better. So at first, Finn is like, maybe he was meeting her in the alley because he wanted to make sure that, that he stays, that she stays away from his parents and stuff like that, and just being really protective of his parents. And Sheila's bad news, and he doesn't like her, so he's just trying to just put it out there and just be done with it. And then he defends his mom by saying that she's been trying her best, she's been on the best behavior, and she wouldn't do anything to mess up the relationship that she could potentially have with us. So whatever she's doing in that alley, it can't be anything bad. It's probably just, Thomas just kind of laying down the law. So it seems like for the most part, her suspicions is kind of like whatever. Like, okay, all right, that makes sense. And then they have sex, and that's pretty much about it. I'm gonna be honest, I cannot hit that fast forward button fast enough. I really really couldn't. I've always found, not just in these soap operas, because man, those scenes are just hilariously stupid, and just completely pointless. In the '90s, there was some scenes that it didn't look like look a little more adult, um, like more of my kind of movies. Um, but in general, I've always found sex scenes in any form, whether it's a TV show or a movie or anything like that, to just be completely pointless, and it's just unnecessary. It's unnecessary, especially when you're in a movie. It just makes you feel uncomfortable. Listen, I I love my scenes. I love my adult stuff, but I feel like, there's a time and a place for that, Like if I want to sit there and watch that, I could watch that. If I want to sit there and watch a show about drama, whatever, then I'm gonna watch that. I don't feel like they necessarily need to be together, but I get it, there's reasons why, soap operas, and I don't want to sit there and say anything that's just going to come across as stereotypical or put people in a box, but I know that there's reasons of why they put these scenes, especially in soap opera scenes. But I just feel like they're just, mm, there's reasons, but I feel like in general they're all just pretty stupid. Um, and the last scene is between Taylor and Thomas, and I don't understand how this woman's supposed to be this trained, world-renowned psychologist or psychiatrist, and yet Sheila, she has not spotted Sheila in everything that she's been doing since Jump. And I remember her sitting there saying, "Well, I'm a trained therapist. So I can sit there and see if she's going to be on the straight and narrow or not. I'll sit there and read her." That was that was New Year's Eve. That was like New Year's Eve and Christmas. You haven't been able to read her since. So, talking to Thomas, she wants to know what's going on with Thomas, and Thomas makes up this lie talking about, oh, well, I've just been acting a little funny because I want to make sure that you and Dad are really going to be together. I wanted this for so long, and I don't want to get my hopes up, and that's why. And she believes it. She believes it. And, she says what she says as far as them being a new relationship and everything is new and it's different. And, she's overjoyed, but at the same time, she knows that Brooke is in a lot of pain and blah, 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 blah. So it seems like the lie that Thomas said worked. I think that's about it. I'm going to be honest, this episode was somewhat boring except for the Ridge and Taylor stuff. And when I look at these soap operas sometimes, I always sit there and ask myself a couple of different questions. But one of the questions I ask myself is, would I rather be bored or would I rather be angry? Like, this episode, for the most part, was pretty boring. But then there's scenes like No Personality Carter, Dingbat Paris, and Overbearing Grace that just annoys the living hell out of me. Like, it just irks me. But it also makes me feel something. And it gives me something to talk about. This episode was just like, which is actually kind of disappointing because for the most part, these episodes have actually been good. But it's bound to happen. Every now and then there will be an episode to be like, whatever. So I feel like that's about it. Damn, I took such short notes. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Oh, by the way, um, if yeah, if you also are watching my wine art reviews, I'm not gonna do it tonight. I'm just really tired, and I just feel like my heart wouldn't be in it, and yeah, I just feel like my heart wouldn't be in it as far as doing it tonight. But I will be doing it tomorrow now. Because I'm off tomorrow from work, and I'll just have a lot of time to sit there and, you know, do some reviews and just chill and not feel like I'm doing it at, like, the stroke of 12. Um, yeah, I was sitting there thinking about that, and I was like, I still may watch it because I am still intrigued by what's going on with some of this stuff. But as far as doing the review, I just feel like it's just I'm not gonna have my heart in it, and yeah. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.